Now, I remember Amanda's last New Year's Eve, and it became a big argument because she wanted for me to get champagne. I remember a couple days earlier, I was going to Costco, and she goes, "Don't forget the champagne." And I remember circling back and saying, "No, we're not having champagne this year. I'm not drinking with you. I'm not drinking, period, because of this situation." I mean, she had been drinking probably 30 beers a day for several months after her knee surgery. And if this is the first time seeing me, well, this page is really all about alcohol use disorder. And unfortunately, my wife passed away. My wife of 25 years passed away from alcohol use disorder back in 2020, almost 5 years ago now. And I really tell stories so that it resonates and it's education and creates awareness for alcohol use disorder and for families who go through this. It's really about family awareness. And I remember it became a large argument. We have to. It's New Year's, she said, and I would say, no. I don't care if it's 1999. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking. Period. When I don't. I don't care. I don't care what day it is. It's just another day, and you already drink way too much, and this isn't something I'm going to continue with. And really, the sad part about the whole thing, and I know families go through this, it's just an excuse. Well, it's New Year's, we can drink. And it's like you give them carte blanche, or they feel like they have a reason to drink, and everybody's going to drink too. So it's exciting because now they aren't the focus, because everybody's going to drink to celebrate the new year. Well, I mean, if you have an alcoholic in your family, or if you're suffering, somebody in your family is, or if it's you, or you're recovering alcoholic, yeah, don't start the new year with alcohol. I know it's a tradition, and it's fairly obvious that it's been around forever. But if you have a problem with it, don't exacerbate the problem. Number one, and one drink is not a way to start the new year, especially if you're a late stage alcoholic, because one drink is too many and 1,000 isn't enough. I mean, that's why start the new year off with continuing your alcohol use disorder problem. I mean, if you haven't drank in a year or two, don't let the new year become a start to relapse, is really what we're getting about. Now, and then to continue the story. And really, to back up the story a little bit, my wife at this point was a stage 4 alcoholic. I mean, really all she did was to live for alcohol, consume it, recover from it, and start the cycle all over again. I mean, her purpose, she was very lost at this point. And if you follow me at all, you know the story. This was really the last few months, and it was really the end of the situation. She passed away 2 months into the year, and if I'm sure you've heard stories about that. Now the thing is, you get to the point as a family member where you just can't do it anymore, and you're done. And I mean, I had been done for a while, and you just kind of really just have to manage the situation. She was drinking 30 beers a day. She was door dashing it. She was taking Ubers at night. She was ordering credit cards in her name, selling things on eBay. Alcoholics will get money and ways to get alcohol anyway, anyhow. And there's nothing you can, as a spouse or as a family member, really get in the way of that. And if you've never experienced this, there's no way you could possibly understand that. And it has nothing to do with family or spouses. It's solely the responsibility of the alcoholic, and that's a really important thing to understand. Unfortunately, she had really lost her purpose at this point. I mean, she was watching television, or had television in the background, about 18 hours a day. She was watching television sometimes until 4 or 5 in the morning, and then until she passed out, and then she'd get up at 5, the next day. Her entire cycle of her day was extremely messed up. She'd be sleeping when I came home from work and sleeping when I went to bed. It was a very, very sad situation. And really, to continue the story, I mean, within a couple days of the new year, I mean, I had contacted lawyers at this point, and I was in the process of getting a legal separation. It took a while because I wanted to find a new place for her to go to. There was one place in Palm Springs that she had gone to 4 times, and I wanted to get her out of the area. So I looked in about 100 miles away, and I found a place in Los Angeles, really close to UCLA. I didn't know it at the time. It happened to be perfect. And it was a residential place, and I drove her down there on the 27th, I believe, of January. And she really, the last few weeks, I don't think we had a whole lot of conversation. I think she was either inebriated most of the time, and it had definitely affected her brain at this point. There was never really a whole lot of conversation, and honestly, the last month for me is a complete blur. I don't really remember a whole lot of it. Looking back, it's just a complete blank for me, and I don't really know why. I've tried to think about it and try to isolate different things that happened in that last month, but I have no memory of it. I really don't, and I think it was just a blur. And I think I think I had just gotten to the point where it didn't matter. I needed to figure a way to get her into a safe place, and so that my son and I could just continue on with our lives. And it was time. And really, the biggest takeaway here is that there is no positive income. There is no positive outcome that comes with alcohol use. You either get into recovery, or it's going to be a very bad outcome. You're going to succumb to the disease at a much earlier age, and you're going to ruin all your relationships, your productivity, and obviously your health. And I go over this in detail. I want to point out her memoir, Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. It's really the story of her 25-year decline with alcoholism, and how it developed, how what it did with her life, and obviously the life of our family. And it's an important book because comes from the perspective of the family. And again, I go live Monday through Friday right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have the Facebook group. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. And when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have the complete coaching program. Set up a breakthrough call. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. The call is free. The course is definitely not. I'm looking for people who want to change their lives and the lives of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.